Guys, I got something friggin' sweet to show you. You're not gonna believe what I gotta show you. Do you hear that? It's freaking raining. That's awesome. You're probably thinking, why is that awesome? Because that's not gonna last. And when that's done, our video begins. Well, our video is gonna begin first, but the real part of the video is gonna start. What part is that? Guys, I wanna go catch my own bait. So I just went to Walmart because I wanted to get some weights for fishing. By the way, guys, Skivinz here in case you haven't clued in. I wanted to go get some weights for fishing because I have nothing to make drop shots. I got nothing to make. I can't even remember what the heck that rig was that Struckus made, but it was pretty much snagless. He was firing it in the same locations I was firing it after I was losing jig head after jig head after jig head. He basically didn't lose anything, so I was like, you know what, I gotta go to Walmart and get some weights. I was gonna go to Canadian Tire because they have weights there, but when I was at Walmart, they were $2 a pack. I was like, holy crap, why haven't I bought these before? Also, guys, sorry if the lens was pretty dirty there. I just cleaned it off, I think. Yeah, I just cleaned it off, so. Went and bought some weights. While I was there, I bought what's cooking in the air fryer. Bought some chicken because I kind of wanted some chicken. That has nothing to do with tonight. But what I want to do is, I just researched on YouTube how to catch night crawlers. Because, you know, they call them night crawlers, worms, Canadian dew worms, whatever the hell. And normally they come out after a rainstorm because, well, the ground gets full of water and they don't want to drown to death. So they surface so they can get some air. Well, it's pissing rain out there right now, which is awesome. So, first part of this video we're going to have to do, because it's going to stop raining probably in about 36 minutes, give or take. First part of this video is we need a light. We need to be able to see the ground, to see the dew worms, to be able to nab them, pull them, and put them in something. Also, we kind of need something to put them in. I have my container in the garage, but I was kind of hoping to have something else to use in the meantime. And this old Nordica 2% cottage cheese dish, she'll be just juicy. Perfect. We're set. We're set. The next thing we're going to need, like I said, is a light. But I want a light where I can mount a camera to it. So let's head upstairs and I'll show you what I'm working with. So guys, here's my battle plan. I got one of these curb stickies. I got my headlamp here. I'm thinking on the face here, if I stick this on like so, and then with the GoPro, like it'll clip in like this, but I got the parts back there that change it from like facing this way to facing this way. That might do it. That might work. That might get her done. So I'm going to go ahead and try this out. Worst case, I lose a mount. Best case, I now have a GoPro mount because I can't mount it on the actual bulb here. It won't stick. There's nothing to stick it to. So the only option I really have is on this thing back here. So I'm going to use some alcohol, clean that off. I'm going to try and stick it, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Well, that worked out way better than I anticipated. I forgot how sticky these pads are from GoPro. They will pretty much adhere to any surface that you try to adhere them to. They're quite possibly the best sticky material that I've ever played with in the history of my life of playing with. That sounds bad. Okay, so we got it on there. Now you're probably saying, Adam, how are you going to attach a GoPro? Well, let me show you. What we've got here is failure to this jobby to this jobby now makes this a sideways jobby. We'll bolt this together. Boom. And then when that clips into yonder, we now have a sideways mount for our GoPro. We just need to have a cage for the GoPro. I'll steal the one off the headband. This will work. Then when it stops raining, we'll go outside and try and collect some dew worms. Or worms. Whatever the hell we're going to call them. I don't know. Some people call them Canadian night crawlers. Other people call them dew worms. Like I hear Canadian night crawlers all the time on YouTubes from people. And then I started calling them Canadian night crawlers because that's what they were calling them. And my friend's like, you're the only person I know who calls them Canadian night crawlers. And I'm like, well, no, there's a lot of other people who call them that too. Just you don't watch the same stuff on YouTube that I watch. However, bam, we now have a GoPro on a lamp. Of course, she's kind of not aimed right, but we can fix that. Then we take this cage, bring it down, then we grab super mega awesome GoPro, plop it in, and boom. Check out that night vision rig. It's probably going to be super heavy on my head though. Oh yeah, this is going to need some tightening. Oh yeah, this is going to definitely need some tightening. This is really heavy. Okay, so I got some work to do on this to make sure that it doesn't slip around too much. But I'm pretty sure we're basically ready to rock. Just got to wait for the rain to stop. Sweet. So here we go. This is the GoPro rig that I will be using. The light is bright and the GoPro is ready to go. Hopefully, when this rain stops, we can go out and catch more night crawlers because I have no idea how many I have left in my styrofoam. And that's going to bring up for another video. What video is that? Well, you'll have to stay tuned. So, I'm going to take this thing off my head until we're ready to get out there and play. This is quite the heavy rig, so, which is funny because all it is just a GoPro on a mount. And it's one of the lighter GoPros too. It's not like I'm carrying this thing around with me. But these sessions do have quite the weight to them. Alright, so let's just wait for that water to stop pouring, and then we'll go try and get some bait. Alright? Sweet. Rain has subsided. Before we do anything, do I see any here? No, I'm not sure if this is going to work tonight because of the fact that you can see my breath. It is pretty chilly out right now. Before we do anything, I want to come into the garage and just I bought some bullet style drops, some hooks, and some split shot sinkers. Just gonna fire those into the front pouch here of my bag, just so I have them on me. Okay, let's go see if we can catch some worms. Like I said, I don't know if this is gonna work because it's kind of cold out. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm looking for. Just make sure there's nothing in the yard. You know where would be a good spot to check? It's the raspberry bush. I figured the ground would be juicy enough, because they wouldn't go down right away. And I know you got to be light on your feet because they feel the vibrations and they'll pull back. Because I have no idea how many worms I have left in my inventory. Because I was thinking about getting to bed and waking up super early, trying an early morning fish, but I am super not seeing anything that remotely looks like a worm. See, the other plan I had was I was going to dig up over there, and I remember doing this when we were kids, and it was so easy. What the hell was that? There is something making a ruckus back there, and I am not armed right now because, you know, there are bears out here. I really don't feel like tangling with one of them right now. Oh, guys, I'll keep an eye on that back 40. I think we're basically screwed on this idea. You know, another thing is when we were kids, something we would do is we wouldn't even check the lawns. We would just go right out to the roads. Because sometimes they would just surface right out on the street. Usually after a heavy rainfall, it's like they would run to the streets knowing that they wouldn't drown. Maybe the dew worm population did dwindle. Maybe my only option is to do what was suggested, and that's start a worm farm. I just remember when I was a kid that after a rainfall, you'd walk out, like I'd be walking to school, and there'd be worms all over the roads, just everywhere. And I remember last year when I dug up the raspberry bushes, and I was digging, I was finding a whole bunch. The video I watched, Buddy just literally walked through his yard after a rainfall and was doing exactly what I'm doing right now, and he was finding them everywhere. But maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe I just can't see them. I don't have the greatest vision after all. Like, I can see fine for driving and I can pass the 20/20 test, but certain things I just don't see that well, and I have a feeling worms are one of them. Okay. I'm wondering what the heck that noise was back there now. Well, let me do an inventory check There's no worm sitting right here on my sidewalk, is there? Like, it was amazing when we were kids. I couldn't believe how many worms we would come across. Back to the drawing board. Or, you know what, just for shits and giggles. Where's my shovel? Oh yeah, it's hanging up on that thing. Wow, this thing here is about to die, I think. I need to recharge my batteries in my headlamp. Where'd my other shovel go? I guess I must have given that one back to Dad. Or I could grab Oreo's shit shovel. That'd be good enough. You know what? Yeah, let's go do that. Even though I don't think I got much light left in this headlamp, I gotta recharge this thing. Grab Oreo's shit shovel, stir up the ground over at the yonder region, and see if just maybe we uncover some worms in the dark. Yeah, I don't see anything over here. You know what, guys? I'm really not seeing anything in here either. Let's go do an inventory on how many worms we actually do have left. If any. I still hear a bunch of noises back there. It's probably a raccoon. If it was the bear, it would make a lot more noise than that. Oh yeah, I left them in the friggin' cooler. Way to go me. Yeah, they're there. Yeah, I don't think there's many of them in here. We have some for tomorrow. Okay, I'll take these guys in the house, fire them in the fridge, and we have a couple for tomorrow. Good enough, good stuff. Alright guys, it's the next day. Now that we can actually see what the hell's going on, because I didn't realize that light was that useless. I figure I'll grab our container here, grab Oreo's shit shovel, come over here to where I was digging last night, and see if we can find any dew worms. There is none in the ground over here that I can see. So I was digging here last night, just playing around, turning up the soil, trying to find anything at all, because it would be nice to be able to not have to pay for worms. It would be very nice. I'm almost tempted to start my own worm farm, to be honest. I looked up how to do it. It's not that bad. I'm just gonna sit this down here. Boom. Oh, I found a rock. Found a whole bunch of rocks. Don't want to leave those on the ground. Friggin' Bender will find them. Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe when I put that borax down, if I killed a bunch of stuff. Because there is a good chance of that. And then again, you know, thinking about when we were a kid hunting worms, it wasn't exactly September either. It was pretty much June, July. So maybe temperature makes them go to ground even harder. I don't know. Look at all these freaking rocks. If anything, I'm just digging up lawnmower killers. That's just all rocks down here. And this is what happens, eh guys? This is why I'm worried about using the gasser over here and I didn't care for Bender. It's because all those rocks that I'm digging up, every winter the frost line pushes them up higher and higher and higher until they push right through the ground, and next thing you know they're on the top level, and I'm coming through here with my mower. Boom! There was no rock there last year, but now there's a rock there. Mower finds it, mower's wrecked. And that's what's been happening, like these big juicy rocks here. That's some big stones. Just gonna fire them in the bottom of the pit. Bury my hole. Yeah, I think this was pretty much a failed attempt at getting worms on the low budget. And you're probably saying, Adam, you didn't go fishing yet today. It's 11. It's not even like you said you're going to go early in the morning.
And yeah, I was going to go early in the morning. But last night, after my failure in collecting worms, I was chatting with Struckus, and we got talking about fishing and stuff. And he was like, oh, I forgot to even ask you, like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like, oh, I'm just probably going to wake up early and try early morning fishing down at the wall, or depending on the conditions, if the wall was too busy or the wall was too brutal with weather, I was going to try going to Lavaz River, see if we can catch maybe a kitty cat or something with the new techniques and the new gear. By new gear, I mean the new weights. And he was like, oh, well, we're going to go out on the boat. He's like, you're more than welcome to come along if you like. He goes, we're going to go hit up the islands and all that. I was like, oh, hell yeah, that sounds even better. Because, you know, right now the bass, they're out there. It's just the problem is where? Where are they? Where are they hiding? Man, I need to do that to this whole area. Just turn up the soil, plant some grass, and hopefully it overpowers the weeds. Should go take a look and see what's going on over there. Because we're not getting any worms. We're going to have to end up buying them. That's what Dave was saying. He's like, he was like, you know, picking worms. That's something you do when you're kids. As adults, that's why we have jobs, so we can afford to buy them. It was a fun experiment. I thought it was going to be easier than that, remembering being a kid and just pulling worm after worm after worm after worm after worm out of the ground. Like, my buddy Brian and I, we used to worm all the time back in the day, collect a whole bunch of them, and then we would sell them at the bait shop. Yeah, this is actually looking not too bad. I should have finished off my job over there, but whatever. And yeah, these white fluffy things are seeds. We'll get more of those stupid thistles coming in. I'll just have to bang them out as I see them. Yep. Should have finished killing this off too. Oh, we got Bender, and it works. Almost tempted to find a new blade for it, give it a treat. But seeing what I'm using Bender for, I don't know if a new blade is a good idea, because it'll just get mangled. Better off to keep the current blade sharpened. But yeah, like I was saying about my buddy Brian and I, we used to go worming. We would go to, like, my bike rides when I cut behind Food Basics. There's that path takes me over a bridge on another path. Well, out there's called Memorial Gardens. And we used to go out there in the soccer field, and we'd each have like a margarine container and just start pulling worms. We would probably come back with 100 to 200 worms, like 100 each, and then we put them in a giant tote. Oh, looks like a chipmunk made a hole there, bearing his nuts. But we would come back with like 100, 200 worms each, and then the tackle shop, we used to go to Billy Bob's Bait down on Lakeshore. We'd bike down there. There's that noise again. Now that it's daytime, maybe I can see something. But anyway, we used to sell the worms, and it was he would give us $3 a dozen, and we ended up making like 30 to 36 bucks a day, just banging out worms. And when you're like a 10-year-old kid, that's pretty awesome. Well, plucking worms, failed experiment, because yeah, I don't see any. Like, there's probably a bunch of those black and orange caterpillars kicking around, because they were enjoying the land when I mowed. Unless I mowed over them, then there's probably none of them kicking around. I wonder if it's just a chipmunk in my tree frigging around knocking nuts down. It's probably just a chipmunk in my tree frigging around knocking nuts down. I don't know, last night in the dark it was a little bit more scarier than that. Alright, well, we came, we tried, we failed. It is what it is. I just remember it being a lot easier. A mushroom? That's a mushroom. Alright guys, well, I think Dave's going to be by in about an hour to pick me up. And then we're going to head out on the boat today. Try our luck around the Manitoulin Islands, or the Manitou Islands. And hopefully catch some freaking walleye. That'd be nice. Also hoping we hit up the bait shop, because like I said, I got nothing to fish with. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Sorry for the failed friggin' video. Like, I tried, but I'm starting to wonder if, like, maybe the worm population, like I said, it's cold now, so maybe they're harder to find. The ones you're buying in a tackle box are farmed. Now to farm worms, it's pretty easy. Apparently all you need is good soil, like black soil, which you can get from your local Walmart. Some sort of a moss and newspaper, shredded newspaper, because shredded newspaper absorbs moisture and will help keep the area, like the soil, moist, which the worms like. And then you need food, which, judging by what a lot of people use, is those who go out and buy like a box of salad or something and chuck it in there and let it compost, and the worms love that. And then within like 3 weeks, your 48 worms become like a lot more. There's a whole bunch of little worms that show up, and then they grow big, and then they mate, and then they grow big, and then they mate, and they grow big. And next thing you know, you got so many freaking worms in your worm farm that you got to build more. The only problem is you got to store it somewhere cool and preferably damp. So fridge is out. I need that for food. My thought was the crawl space. It'd be a perfect spot to store a worm farm or two. And if I could grow my own worms, I could either A, use them for fishing, give them to friends and that, so they don't need to pay the outrageous prices. Because like I said in the beginning of the year, worms weren't too bad, you know. $3 a dozen, $6 for two was tolerable. I think it was actually cheaper than that. I don't know. I think we were paying like $2.47 a dozen. And then as the years, as the summer grew on and fishing got more bigger, and they started inflating the friggin' prices, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like, now it's like $5 for a dozen, $10 for two, and it's stupid. But if you can grow your own, have your own live bait, that'd be pretty badass. So I don't know, I got the toad out in the garage. I could easily convert it to a worm farm, and getting newspaper flyers is not exactly hard. Just got to shred them up, which, you know, you can do that with a pair of scissors, or if you have a paper shredder, that's fine. And then, as far as black soil goes, you can just buy a bag of that at Walmart, and you're set for life. So you lay down your newspaper, lay down your moss, lay down your black soil, throw in, go to the corner store or your bait shop, buy a couple packs of worms, throw them in, throw in some food for them, let them go to ground, and let them do their thing. Check on them every couple days, make sure there's still food in there, and a couple months, bam, Worm City. I don't know, maybe something I might try later on. Could be kind of fun. Grow my own bait. Hey people, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Sorry for the failure once again. But you know what? Unless you try, you just won't know. So you got to give her. We'll probably try this. Like I said, it's probably due to the weather. It's freaking cold out. The worms are probably like really deep into the ground. Probably hiding. Maybe they migrated to Florida. I don't know. I know there are worms back there because every time I mow the lawn, the crows are out. And the crows are striking at something. So, unless it's grubs. Could be grubs. There's got to be some worms back there. But anyway, it is what it is. So, until next time, guys, live to win, never give in. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.